So it's time to have a look at my FPL Game Week 10 team selection. But of course, before we do get into that, let's have a quick review of how we performed in Game Week 9. Alright guys, so as you can see on your screens, we managed to get 63 points in Game Week 9, which meant I got a small green arrow from around 1.5 million up to 1.4 million. And although it was a very small green arrow, I still am happy we managed to get that green arrow. And I really do hope it is a sign of good things to come in FPL, man. Hopefully this can be the starting point of our FPL success. So hopefully we can continue to get green arrows. But with that being said, as you guys can see on your screens, the team did okay, right? Raya and Konate both blanked. I wasn't really expecting much from those two players, so it is what it is. But the big positive for this week was actually my two new signings, Salah and Aït-Nouri, who both delivered and both got on the score sheet. Aït-Nouri scoring a last minute goal against Brighton, which was absolutely fantastic. So, you know, he got the 6 points even though they did concede. And Mohamed Salah also did score. And look, I took out Bukayo Saka who scored, but Salah still did outscore Saka, right? Salah got all 3 bonus points and the goals. So yeah, both my new transfers, transferred in plays, both got me some good points, which is really nice. Rico Lewis getting a clean sheet against Southampton. I expected that, and that's what he did. Yeah, so we'll take the 6 points, man, because Man City just never seem to really get clean sheets. So yeah, I'll definitely be taking those 6 points. Phil Foden, massively disappointed with him. He blanked against Southampton at home, which is absolutely crazy, man. I mean, that was the banker. That was the game I was expecting a mega haul from Phil Foden, and he certainly did not deliver. So yeah, pretty unfortunate. I mean, I did watch the highlights, and he did create a lot of chances for Erling Haaland. So I'm not going to lie, some of that responsibility does fall on Erling Haaland, right? I feel like he's a big reason why Foden didn't actually get any FPL returns, because Foden could have had like 2 or 3 assists to Erling Haaland in that game, but Erling Haaland kept missing chance after chance after chance. So yeah, you guys can also see I did use the captaincy on Erling Haaland, of course, but thankfully we didn't use the triple captain, which is a big W, because I'm going to be honest, if like 1 goal with a triple captain is terrible. I'm going to be honest. That is my honest opinion. So yeah, I'm really happy I didn't use the triple captain on Haaland against Southampton at home. So yeah, Haaland just scored the 1 goal, which again, pretty underwhelming, because he certainly did have the chances to score 3-4 goals in that game. But yeah, Bryan Mbeumo, man, the star man of this team for this week, man. He's just doing what he does best, man. Like Bryan Mbeumo, he's just too good, right? 2 goals against Ipswich, man. He's just that guy, man. Mbeumo is him. It's as simple as that. And then Smith Rowe as well, getting an assist, getting the 6 points against Everton away from home. A really nice assist as well. Got close a couple times to getting on the score sheet, but I am really happy with Emil Smith Rowe for the long term. So I'm glad he could, you know, start getting some points for me. And then the other 2 forwards I've got in my team, the 2 Dominics in my team, the 2 frauds in my team, Dominic Solanke and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, absolute bums. I'm gonna be honest. They both stink, and they're both terrible FPL options. I'm gonna be honest, I'm sick and tired of the pair of those 2 clowns, absolute clowns, guys. I'm gonna be honest, I've absolutely had enough. Dominic Solanke blanking once again. He racked up a total of like 0.02 XG against Crystal Palace, which is absolutely shocking. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin is just Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's absolutely terrible, and I'm sick of this guy. But yeah, that is a quick summary of my Game Week 9 you know, performance and how we did. Yeah, like I said, another blank again for Dominic Calvert-Lewin against Fulham. I really am sick of this guy, but we're going to talk on Dominic Calvert-Lewin very shortly. But yeah, that is a quick summary of how we did in Game Week 9. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to my Game Week 10 transfer plans. So guys, as you can see on your screens right now, this is a move I really want to make for Game Week 10, taking out Dominic Calvert-Lewin because I've just simply had enough of him, and then I want to bring in Jørgen Strand-Larsen from Wolves. But I will say I haven't made the move yet, and that is because I'm waiting for press conferences on Friday, just in case we get any injury updates from any Wolves players. But this is a move I really want to do. And look, some of you guys may think, why on earth, like I've had Dominic Calvert-Lewin for so long, I might as well keep him for 1 more game and play him against the fixture against Southampton away, right? Some of you guys might be saying that I should just keep Dominic Calvert-Lewin for 1 more game, but I'm going to be honest, guys, I've had enough, and I'm tired. Right, I'm tired of being disappointed by Dominic Calvert-Lewin. You guys, man, I've been suffering. I've been struggling. Alright, I've been struggling and suffering for far too long. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has just caused me nothing but pain, right? As you guys can see here, man, I bought him in like game week 5, and since then he's got 2 points, 1 point, 2 points, 2 points, 2 points. And he continues to miss chance after chance after chance after chance. So even though he's got Southampton, West Ham and Brentford as the next games, I've just had enough. It's just simple as that, man. I want to cut ties with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I want this man out my team, right? It's just simple as that, guys. I'm tired. Right, it's simple as that. I'm so tired of this man. So yeah, for me, Dominic Calvert-Lewin has to go. I really don't care if he's playing against Southampton. I've had enough, right? I've simply had enough, and I want to bring in Jørgen Strand Larsen because he's the one for me that looks really good. I love the upcoming fixtures for Wolves. As you guys can see here, man, Wolves do have some really nice, favourable fixtures. You know, it's a good entry point to get in Strand Larsen, man. Crystal Palace at home is a great fixture. Then of course Southampton at home after that. Then Fulham, Bournemouth, Everton, West Ham, Ipswich, Leicester. He's a really good long-term hold. Now, I know there is, of course, Matheus Cunha, right, guys? Matheus Cunha at 6.5, again, a really good option. And, you know, Jørgen Strand Larsen, he's mainly just got goal threat, whereas Matheus Cunha does have the goal threat, but also the assist threat, which is why I think he's a slightly better option, as well as him being on penalties as well. But he does cost 6.5 million. So it's a bit too expensive for me because you guys know in game week 12 I want to get Cole Palmer, so I need to make sure that I don't spend too much in this position. So I'm going to go for Strand Larsen instead as a cheaper alternative to Matheus Cunha. And like I said, even though, you know, you might argue that Cunha might be, you know, slightly better than Strand Larsen, it doesn't mean that, you know, Strand Larsen isn't a good option anyway. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with getting in Strand Larsen, man, because I do like the Wolves fixtures, and I think they're actually a good team. They've just been sort of unlucky with their fixture run. They've had a really tough fixture run to start the season with. So look, I think with the good fixtures, it will breed good form for the Wolves assets. You know, Aït-Nouri, Cunha, Strand Larsen. I think they're going to rack up some FPL points in the game weeks to come. So look, although I can't get to Cunha, I still am very happy with bringing in Strand Larsen, and I do plan to do that this week, right? As I said, I'm just waiting for sort of any press conferences or any information and updates on injuries for the Wolves assets. But yeah, that is my plan for game week 10. So let's have a look at my team selection. All right, guys, so it's time to have a look at my team selection for game week 10. And in the goalkeeper spot, we've got David Raya, and then a back three of Konate, Aït-Nouri, and Rico Lewis. Now look, David Raya going away to Newcastle is an interesting one because I do think Newcastle have been pretty poor overall so far this season, right? On the eye test, every time I watch Newcastle, they've struggled in the majority of games I've seen them play. And I just think going forward, they look a bit lackluster and really poor, and defensively as well. They definitely are susceptible to conceding quite a few goals. But I will say, Arsenal going away to St James's Park is still going to be relatively tricky in my opinion. I still do expect Arsenal to get the win, but just the fact that it's away from home, I do think it's going to be slightly tough. I mean, going away at St James's Park is never really that easy. However, I will say, to counter that point, I will say Arsenal in these type of games, right, away to Newcastle, maybe away to a Chelsea, these games, they really do sort of sit up tight defensively and really do and just basically try and restrict their opponents from creating a lot of chances in these sort of tougher away games. So with that being said, I do sort of expect Raya to get a clean sheet, and I know Arsenal have been pretty poor defensively in the past month or so, but I still do trust the Arsenal defense moving forward because I do think they are still a good defensive team, and I do think you know the red cards, the amount of red cards Arsenal have got so far this season hasn't really helped them. So look, I'm feeling relatively confident about this game away to Newcastle, but nonetheless, I still am hoping Raya can get the job done. But that being said, we do have Konate at home to Brighton. I think that's a great fixture for Liverpool. I think this season so far, man, I've been saying it, Liverpool defensively are really good, really strong defensively. They seem to control a lot more games than they previously did at times under Jurgen Klopp. They play, you know, sort of a slower game. It's not really rock and roll football. It's more controlled, slower, methodical. You know, that's the kind of football that Liverpool play. And look, they do restrict their opponents from creating a lot of chances. I do rate the Brighton team going forward. I think Brighton can hurt teams and can score quite a few goals because I do think, you know, attacking wise they are good. But I just think that Liverpool defence is so strong, and with Liverpool being at home at Anfield as well, I am expecting a clean sheet from Konate. So with that being said, I hope Konate can deliver those good FPL points. And then we do have Ryan Aït-Nouri. Now, I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm literally going to be watching that game and just absolutely absolutely praying that he does not get another yellow card, because at the time of recording, right before this Crystal Palace game, he's on 4 yellow cards. One more yellow card and it means that he will miss the game against Southampton at home, and that's just such a good fixturing, man. I really want to have Aït-Nouri in that game, so I'm literally just praying that Aït-Nouri doesn't get another yellow card in this game. So yeah, hopefully he doesn't get a yellow card. Hopefully he gets a clean sheet and some attacking returns. I think Crystal Palace at home is a really good fixture, not only for the Wolves attack, but also for the Wolves defence. As much as Wolves have been a pretty poor defensive team this season, I think Crystal Palace going forward look really bad in my opinion, right? They don't really convince me on the eye test. So going forward, I don't really rate the Crystal Palace attack. I think they look pretty toothless at times. So I am actually expecting a clean sheet in this game, especially with Wolves, you know, being at home as well. So look, hopefully Aït-Nouri can get the job done. And then we do have Rico Lewis away to Bournemouth. Now, I got to point this one thing out, right? I am currently recording this just before the Carabao Cup game that Man City are playing against Tottenham. And unfortunately, Rico Lewis is starting again for Man City, and I just feel like he's starting so much in the Champions League, Premier League, Cup games, that I just feel like he's going to get benched sooner or later because he's so young. I feel like he's not used to sort of this playing football this much, you know, in successive, you know, playing this many games in succession. So I've got doubts about Rico Lewis this week if he's going to start. I'm going to be totally honest. So yeah, look, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But look, if Rico Lewis does play, I do think he's a relatively good option. Of course, we know that Man City somehow, some way, they always find a way to concede a goal this season, but they still have solid defensive numbers. Away to Bournemouth is going to be tough, but I still am expecting a clean sheet. I'm going to be honest. So yeah, hopefully he can get the job done. And look, Rico Lewis also does have that attacking threat as well. So yeah, man, hopefully he can get the job done. But with that being said, guys, we're going to move on to the midfield where we do have Mohamed Salah, Phil Foden, Brian Obama and Emil Smith-Rowe. And I'm going to start off by talking about Mo Salah, right? Mo Salah, I am absolutely torn and I don't know what to do in terms of captaincy. One side of me is saying Captain Mo Salah. Another side of me is saying Captain Erling Haaland. I don't know what to do, guys. I'm going to be honest. Let me know down below in the comments. If you had Erling Haaland and Mo Salah, who on earth would you captain this week? Because right now I'm torn and it's going to go right down to the wire for me. At the moment, I think I'm in favour of Mohamed Salah. But I'm going to be honest, I just don't know. I don't know. But I think, look, Brighton at home is a great fixture for Liverpool and for Mohamed Salah. Brighton like to play sort of a high-ish line. And they do leave gaps and spaces in behind for the midfielders to play those, you know, penetrating passes through the pockets for the wingers to latch onto. So, look, if that does carry on in that Liverpool game, then I do expect Mohamed Salah to have a field day, right? And I do expect him to score a couple of goals. I think that Brighton defence is very weak. They give up chances a lot. And so far in a lot of the games I've watched Brighton play, they really haven't convinced me from a defensive point of view. I'm going to be totally honest. So I do really love that game for the Liverpool attack and for Mohamed Salah, which is why I strongly am considering Mo Salah. I think right now, if you were to ask me, I am in favour of Mohamed Salah, probably about 60 to 40, right? 60% in favour of Mo Salah, 40% in favour of Erling Haaland. But that could change. That could honestly change, guys. So yeah, look, we'll see what happens on the deadline stream, I guess. But I do think it's a great fixture for Mohamed Salah. Now let's talk about Phil Foden, man. This man has absolutely disappointed me. You know, since I bought him in, right? He's been an absolute disaster and an absolute failure of a transfer. But once again, just like Rico Lewis, he is starting in that Carabao Cup game against Tottenham Hotspur. And again, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Again, I'm a bit scared that Phil Foden will get benched on the weekend against Bournemouth. I mean, look, it could be a good thing, but it could also be a bad thing. I don't know. But typically, Pep does sort of, you know, talk about players building the rhythm, you know, playing fixtures and building their rhythm. So if he's doing that with Phil Foden, that could suggest that Pep is sort of ready, you know, to just, you know, make Phil Foden a consistent starter. And he's doing that by making Phil Foden build up that rhythm. So maybe he's impressed with what he's seen with Phil Foden. And now is the time where Phil Foden is going to start week in, week out in the Premier League, in the Champions League, in the Cup games. So hopefully it's a good thing. Hopefully it's a positive thing. Hopefully it means that Phil Foden will start on the weekend. But I'm going to be honest, I am a bit nervous. If he does start, I think he can do damage. He's a player that is very explosive. He's a player that is capable of scoring a lot of goals. And I think Bournemouth away is a good fixture for someone like Phil Foden. You know, it's a small pitch. It's a compact pitch. You know, Bournemouth Stadium, very tight, compact. I think Phil Foden, you know, with the way he plays, how close he keeps the ball to his feet, how good he is in tight spaces, I think that game will suit him, man. I think that game will suit him, and I do think if he starts, he would be a very, very good differential. So, look, I've said that a lot of times, though, about Phil Foden being a good differential, and look, he's not delivered. So, yeah, I do have my doubts. I do have my doubts. But look, we do also have Brian Mbeumo and Emil Smith-Rowe, who are actually playing against each other. Of course, Brentford being away to Fulham. I just hope it can be a very, very high goal scoring game. A 4-4, a 3-3, a 4-3 kind of game. That would be absolutely fantastic, right? Goals left, right and centre. That's what I need. That's what I want. And typically speaking, I'm not going to lie, Brentford this season, they've been involved in a lot of high-scoring games. I mean, you look at the Wolves game, 5-3. You look at the Ipswich game, 4-3. So, you know, the results have been there. You know, the high goal-scoring games have been there for Brentford. So, look, I am hoping that Smith-Rowe and Mbeumo can both deliver. Fulham being the home side, I'm expecting more from Smith-Rowe. You know, he managed to get a goal in the last game. I mean, an assist in the last game. Hopefully, Smith-Rowe can get on the score sheet this game. Brian Mbeumo, he's been in form. He's been amazing this season, so I just hope that he can continue the good form. But it's going to be an interesting matchup because I do think the Brentford defence stinks, right? It's a really, really poor defence. You know, Brentford defence this season has been really shocking. Really, really shocking. So I'm expecting the Fulham attackers to have fun in that game. I'm expecting the Fulham attackers to score goals because you can easily exploit that Brentford defence. But look, as much as I say that, I also do like the Brentford attack, and Brentford have put up some good attacking numbers so far this season. So look, it could bode well for a high goal scoring game, I'm going to be honest. So look, we'll see what happens, but I'm expecting goal contributions from both Smith-Rowe and Mbeumo in this game, man. So hopefully they don't disappoint. But with that being said, guys, that is the midfield done. Let's move on to the front three, and we do have our new signing Strand Larsen in there. Of course, it's not confirmed yet, but I'm like 99% sure I'll be doing that transfer, guys. So yeah, we do have Strand Larsen against Crystal Palace at home, and of course Erling Haaland and Dominic Solanke. Now look, Strand Larsen, Crystal Palace at home, for me, it's a really, really good fixture. A really, really good fixture, and I just finally hope now I've picked a good cheap striker, because guys, I've been suffering, man. Since game week 1, I've been suffering. Right, week in, week out, I've been suffering because I've gone for Rodrigo Muniz in game week 1. Then after Rodrigo Muniz, I bought Dominic Calvert-Lewin, an absolute bum of a player. So I've suffered a lot, right? From game week 1 all the way up until game week 10, my cheap striker options have failed to deliver every single week. So I'm really hoping now, Strand Larsen, please, man, please just get some goals for me. I'm begging you, bro, please, just get some goals for me because I've suffered a lot. But yeah, I do think Crystal Palace at home is a really, really nice fixture, guys. Like I said, I don't really rate Crystal Palace going forward or defensively. I think they're a pretty poor team overall. They also are playing against Aston Villa in the Carabao Cup, and Wolves do have a full week's rest as they are knocked out of the Cup. So that could play into Wolves' hand, and it means that they could be a lot more fresher for that game, more sharper for that game, and then hopefully, you know, they can just, you know, be the better performing team and score more goals and win the game. So look, Crystal Palace could be tied from that midweek game. I'm hoping that, you know, Wolves can take advantage of that and Strand Larsen can get on the score sheet. That would be absolutely fantastic because he is a massive, massive differential as well, guys. A massive differential. So, yeah, hopefully he can get the job done there. And then we do have Erling Haaland, of course, Bournemouth away from home. As I already said, guys, I don't know what to do. Do I captain Haaland? Do I captain Salah? I just don't know, right? I do think it's a really, really good fixture for Haaland, Bournemouth away. And I also think it's a good fixture for Salah. But we'll see what happens. But look, I do expect Haaland to get a goal or two in this game. I think Bournemouth at times, they can play sort of a highish line. And if they choose to play that way against Man City, then I do think, you know, City can hurt them on the transition. And Haaland can get in behind that defence. But it's going to be an interesting game for sure. And I'm just hoping Haaland can deliver because I'm not going to lie, he's on a fraud watch, man. I can't lie, guys. I was about to call him Frauland. No, Haaland is on extreme fraud watch. I'm going to be honest, man. It's like 1 goal in 4 games. Absolutely shocking for a player that costs 15 million. So he really needs to step up now to prove his worth. Otherwise, he could be on the chopping block very, very soon. I can tell you that from right now, guys. So, yeah. But then we have Dominic Solanke at home to Aston Villa. And again, another player who is on extreme fraud watch. I'm not going to lie. Dominic Solanke been very, very poor for me since I've brought him in. But look, Aston Villa, I think they are a very, very good team. They also do play midweek as well as Spurs do. but I expect Spurs to sort of give Villa a challenge. I expect Spurs to score a couple of goals, a few goals, because I think, you know, defensively, Villa aren't the greatest team in my opinion. I think they can definitely be got at, and they are vulnerable to conceding goals. So I do expect Tottenham being the home side as well to put the pressure on Spurs and to sort of open them up and create chances. So hopefully Dominic Solanke is just involved in the goals for once, man. Hopefully he can be involved in the goals. That's what I want. That's what I need from Dominic Solanke. So yeah, that is the team for game week 10. On the bench, I do have Mikalenko and Dibbling. I could start Mikalenko instead of someone like Rico Lewis, but I do actually think that Southampton will win the game because they are the home team, and I think with the way Southampton play, I think they can actually break down Everton, to be honest with you. So I do actually expect Everton to at least, maybe they might not even win, but I do expect them to score, right? I don't think Everton will get a clean sheet. So that's why I'm benching Mikalenko, of course, and we've also got Tyler Dibbling and Greaves on the bench as well. So look, that is going to be it, guys. That is it for my Game Week 10 team selection. I really do hope you guys enjoyed that massive ramble and that massive waffle. If you still made it this far, if you made it this far, you are an absolute legend, and I appreciate you so much. So thank you guys for watching if you made it this far. Absolute legends, man. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the support. So yeah, much love to you guys watching this video. And if you've made it this far, like I said, man, you're an absolute legend. You're an absolute goat. But yeah, make sure to follow me, subscribe to the channel, like the video, turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. Of course, I'll be doing a deadline stream on Saturday morning as well, so make sure you guys do tune into that one. Follow me on all social media platforms as well. You guys can see that on screen in the bottom right hand corner. But yeah, man, that is going to be it for today's video. I really do hope you enjoyed, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. But until then, I'm out. Peace.